icon in studio with us right now, and I want to turn just a little happier note. He has brought the Minnesota, under his conducting, has brought the Minnesota Orchestra its first Grammy Award, as well as other nominations and other amazing awards. He is Osma Vanska. Welcome to WCCO Radio.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you here. I know you just got back a couple nights ago from Iceland. A little bit of jet lag, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I had a concert on Thursday night with the Iceland Symphony Orchestra. They have a great concert hall there. And I was 93, 96, I was a music director of that orchestra. And I have many friends there, and it's great to go there. But I was Friday evening back here. And, yeah, I don't know where my mind is right now. Maybe between Reykjavik and Minnesota.
It probably is. Well, I do appreciate you being here with us. So many wonderful things about this orchestra. Let's start with this historic trip. I know it was moving for you to Cuba in May, the first major world orchestra to go into Cuba after the easing of ties of diplomatic relations between the United States and Cuba.
It was a great trip. It just I think that we all felt that we were a little part of international politics, especially at that moment when we played in the beginning of the second concert. We started with the Cuban national anthem and then U.S. national anthem, and that was something nobody expected. And I felt that was something special in the hall, and then I heard later that people were crying. They didn't expect that time is ready for American symphonists to play both national anthems, and even our stage guys, the Cuban guys, they were crying there, and that was like one symbol of the whole visit, and then. We played two concerts. We met young music students from two schools in Havana, and I think that it was something very special, and I'm really happy that I was able to be with the orchestra there at the moment.
Well, there have been so many high notes and high points of your tenure. I want to give our listeners just a little history of how amazing this orchestra is. Founded as the Minneapolis Symphony Orchestra in 1903, that was only shortly after baseball's first World Series and 6 weeks before the Wright brothers made their first flight. So that is just amazing to know this history. You came to the orchestra in 2003, is that correct?
Correct.
And what have been some of your, obviously Cuba was emotional, but really helping to make us an even more world-class orchestra? What are some of the highlights for you?
I think that the basic thing for that is hard working. And if there is not a great orchestra without great rehearsals and a lot of details and demanding, and it's like a sport team. I'm so sad to hear about Flip Saunders. I have seen some Timberwolves games, and this is really sad news.
It
right
is
now.
very sad, and it's great to be able to honor him with you today. When you think about teams, we talk about teams, the role of the conductor, much like a coach.
Exactly. So I'm comparing all the sport teams to the orchestra. We both play, and we play music. And it's the same thing, how to make almost 100 people to play together so that they are playing like one person. It has been said that the symphony orchestra is a conductor's instrument. And it's not good if everybody is playing something there. We have to come to the point when they are breathing together, they know when to listen to this group of the orchestra, when to listen to the other group, and when the other people have to listen to me, and when it happens, then we are. I think music is alive and it's emotional, it's touching people, and that's why we have to practice, and that's endless job.
And conductors have different styles, I understand. Some are a little more dictatorial, some are more collaborative, some are very precise, others give musicians more freedom. How would you describe, Osma Vanska, your conducting style?
You have to ask that question from the players. I have my thoughts, but I don't know.
What's your opinion of your style?
Well, I try to do a lot of details, but I try to be one of the players. They need me only because they cannot play together without a conductor. But my role is try to tell them exactly how I feel, how I feel the music, and how I want them to play, so that we are playing like one person there.
Absolutely. And that is really, we know that difference, right? We hear that difference. Now, you are one of the world's authorities on Sibelius, and you're going to be back at the podium in Minneapolis on November 5th and 6th, leading an all Sibelius program. Why is Sibelius so special to you?
Well, I happen to be a Finnish guy, and Finland is very lucky that Sibelius was born there. Why not in Sweden or Norway? No, he was born in Finland, and one of the great composers in the whole world. And I think that almost all Finnish conductors have gotten an invitation to come to conduct music of Sibelius with some foreign orchestras, because they wanted to hear the authentic interpretation of Finnish way of the music of Sibelius. And then if we did our job first time, well, maybe there was Beethoven or Brahms next time. So Sibelius has been great door opener for us, and it's somewhere inside of my blood or wherever heart. I just feel that music it's speaking to me, and I think that it's great music to everybody, and I'm really glad that we have had a chance to do music with the Minnesota Orchestra and recorded all the symphonies, and it is 150 years celebration. Sibelius was born 1865, and so that is the concert in November is our part to celebrate him, but. Also, I have to say that the orchestra has recorded those symphonies so well. As you said, we have gotten one Grammy. We have gotten one Grammy nomination of the music of Sibelius. So I think that
Sibelius is good for you and the orchestra. It sounds.
Yeah,
like,
I think that Sibelius is in very deep of every player's mind and heart at this moment. They are playing really well that music, as they are doing many other composers so well too.
He is my October Power Talk 2015. He is Osma Vanska, the conductor of the Minnesota Orchestra. He's in studio right now. If you have a question for him, give us a text, 81807. I've been tweeting over the weekend, Osmo, that you were coming in. You've got a lot of fans in Twitterverse. Mark Kelly tweeted back. He retweeted my tweet, and then he also said, please thank Maestro Vanska for every minute of his Sibelius symphonies. So you definitely have some fans out there. You're also doing some things at the orchestra to bring young people into music and into orchestral music. Give us a little snapshot of that.
Well, I think that the we cannot do the things as they have been 100 years ago. We cannot take an overture and a concert and a symphony. We have to find out a way how to make the orchestra as an interesting instrument, as an interesting art institution. Maybe it's too old-fashioned way to say institution, but we try to do different kind of things like movie music, game music. We try to start our concert a little bit earlier and make some shorter things, like to play only 60 minutes of music, so that people could have more time afterwards. And there are many ways. We try to play modern music which is written today, because there is a great chance that music can touch people who are living today. And the most important message is that not only the dead composers are good ones. the living composers might be good ones too, and it's our part to take care of.
Yes, and I'm glad that you have commissioned living composers. Some of them, Libby Larson, Stephen Paulus, Kevin Putz, different people that you have played their works with the Minnesota Orchestra, which is wonderful. There are also some interesting kind of non-orchestral shows that come. I understand Jane Lynch, the actress and comedian, is performing tonight, not with the orchestra, but is performing tonight at Orchestra Hall. What is the purpose of having people like that come into our halls?
I think that we have to take care of we are like we are servicing all Minnesotans with all kind of music. It's classical music, it's jazz, it's as I said, movie music, and we also invite some soloists, some bands here to play music at Orchestra Hall. So we want Orchestra Hall to be a place for everybody to come. Doesn't matter what is their taste about the music, but we would like to have like a good service for everybody.
You travel so much, Osmo. What does that travel do, not only for you, but for the brand of the Minnesota Orchestra all over the world?
Well, if I am guest conducting wherever, they are always mentioning that I am the music director of the Minnesota Orchestra. So it is, there is this marketing point. And if I am doing my job well, then people in different places, they know something about the quality of the Minnesota Orchestra too. So I am traveling, but we are doing also tours, domestic and international tours with the Minnesota Orchestra. I would say that there are three legs. We have to take care of the home concerts at Orchestra Hall, try to play better every single time. We have to do recordings, which hopefully are so good that we can get good reviews from all over the world. And then the third leg is we have to go to show, to play like New York, places like New York, London, Berlin, but also we have to go in Minnesota to places like Cokato or Bemidji, where they don't hear the symphony orchestra every week. So those three things: home concerts, recordings, touring. If we can do well enough all the three things, then they are starting to feed each other.
You talk about those home concerts around the state in your program called Common Chords that you launched in 2011, one of those parts. What would you say is the analogy, or is there a similarity between playing in Bemidji and playing in Moscow?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. Every single time we have to give our best. Doesn't matter is it a big or small place. We have to give things from our heart, and then people can be connected to those great things, what Brahms, Bach, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Kevin Putz have given to us. And that's why we need classical music. If we are doing a good job on stage, then the next day of our listeners is going to be easier, and then they have a good reason to come to listen to us. We have some energy with the classical music, which could help people to live their normal life.
As I'm watching Osma Vanska right now, I have to share with our listeners that I brought something I've had for more than a decade. It's a bobble arm of the conductor when, as we noticed, had a little more brown hair on his head in his suit conducting. And at one time when it had the batteries, Osmo, when I pressed the on switch, your arm would conduct. So I'm staring at both of them together. This bobble arm is proof that you also have a sense of humor. How does humor play into this world as you have to lead, as you're dealing with a lot of different egos sometimes, but some brilliant musicians all around the globe?
I think that if there is any kind of tight situation, even a bad joke might be better than to try to turn the screw tighter and tighter.
Very well said. I love it. And always sounds better, too, with your accent. Thank you so much for joining us. It is just an honor to have you in studio. Osma Vanska is the musical director, lead conductor at the Minnesota Orchestra. And we can hear you next, is that right, November 5th and 6th?
Correct. With
the Sibelius. And tonight, Jane Lynch is at the orchestra. So many things. You can easily go to the orchestra's website to get their full schedule. And I want to thank Gwen Pappas, who has worked for several months to get you here. So I'm so really honored to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your time with our listeners. We are